Sometimes as a dungeon master, when we're looking for campaign ideas, we're trying to get out of the box. But what about all of the things that are close to us that we know all so well can make some amazing campaign ideas? So I want to give you 5 campaign ideas regarding dwarves. Dwarven campaign ideas, the summer tropes that we don't see anymore, and I'm not sure why. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the 5 ideas that I love when it comes to dwarves for an overarching campaign idea. The Lost Kingdom is the kingdom of dwarves that's been lost contact with for over a year now. Whether it be a village that actually had trading routes to a lost, dwarven kingdom up the mountains where the river is, or maybe it is a major trade partner that had disappeared over a year ago and no one's gone to that kingdom since then. There is so much that you can do with this, from goblins that invaded to a new evil to a kingdom of dwarves that just disappeared and vanished. Their entire kingdom is left over, but there are no dwarves left. This Lost Kingdom idea is one of my all-time favorites. Very similar to the Mines of Mordor, but at the exact same time, there aren't anything that we know that are dangerous in there. It's about exploration. It's about finding out what happened to the dwarves, or maybe it's about getting access to something the dwarves used to have, a mineral, a mine, something that's there. So keep that in mind. What would you do with the Lost Kingdom? What would the reason be that the dwarves are gone? I'm curious on this one, what you would come up with. A new ore has been discovered so far under the mountain. The dwarves are now mining it, and it's twisting their kingdom. There's something about this ore that mutates or changes the mental structure of the dwarves, causing them to be angry and territorial and pushing out and causing, everything to go aside. Or maybe they're mining this ore and they're shipping it all across the world, and its toxicity is seeping into the land, to the people, and no one knows what's happening, but it's the ore. I like the idea. It's not necessarily dwarven related, but who digs deeper than the dwarves? Who mines better than the dwarves? And I like the idea that that mineral is slowly twisting either everyone except for the dwarves or the dwarves themselves. What if the dwarves were immune to this mineral, this newfound ore, but everyone else was suffering from its effects? Would people blame the dwarves? Would they cast them out? Would there be a war between the dwarves and everyone else? Or would anyone have any idea? How would you do this? What would the ore be? What would the side effects be? Would it twist the dwarven kingdom, or would it twist everyone else, or both? What are your takes on the new ore the dwarves discover? A unique take on a dwarven campaign is a devil made a deal with a dwarven king and is slowly bringing that dwarven kingdom under the enhancements of that devil. And that dwarven kingdom is now creating portals to bring devils through. And those devils are starting to take over the land and starting to infiltrate the living world. I like the idea that the dwarves have made a deal. They're not necessarily bad, but something happened to the dwarven kingdom where they needed the devil's help in order to not be thrown out, to combat a greater evil. And they weren't the bad guys in this case, and now the devils have their hold on the dwarves. It's a great thing to have both political intrigue campaigns as well as combating something that is pure evil. I love the idea that the devils themselves are the evil and the players are trying to free the dwarves from the grasp, but at the same time, the dwarves have to do as they're told. How would you use this? How would you create that devil and dwarven conflict? Would you make the dwarves go willy, or would the dwarves slowly be pulling their members under the purview of the ruling devil? How would you preface this, and what kind of political intrigue or raw combat would you use? Very similar to the Lost Kingdom, I like the idea that immediately the dwarves break contact with the outside world. A dwarven kingdom, which is a major trade partner within the last couple of days or weeks, breaks all contract. They withdraw all their emissaries, all their craftsmen back into the dwarven kingdom. Why? What's happening? What's going on there? Are they preparing for war? Do they want to combat the outside world? Did they dig too deep and the Underdark is coming to get them and they need all of the resources? Why aren't they asking for help? The idea that a dwarven kingdom breaks contract and walls themselves into a mountain is something that we've seen countless times in media. At the same time, there's so much that we can do with that and should do with that as far as mystery goes. And we don't have to have all the answers right away. As a dungeon master, you can have them break contact and the party can spend multiple sessions just trying to get to the dwarven kingdom. And then when they encounter dwarven kingdom, there's resistance to let them in. So you have time to come up with the reason. But I want to know your reasons. Why would the dwarven kingdom break contact with the rest of the world? What would be a list of reasons that would cause a kingdom of dwarves to do that? What are your thoughts? Dwarves start capturing dragons as mounts and pets. How would they do that? they found a way to strip dragons of their intelligence, making them dull, making them dumb, making them subservient to the dwarves. There's something about this that doesn't seem to fit within my brain. The dwarves riding dragons seems odd, but at the same time, think about how to train your dragon for a second with the Vikings riding dragons. All of a sudden, dragons become more interesting. Maybe the dragons in your world are not intelligent, or maybe they are, and the dwarves found a way to bring them under their control. What thing did they develop? What thing or creature or device did they create that makes dwarves or dragons subservient to the dwarves? What are your thoughts on this? How would you use this? I'm curious. So guys, those are the 5 ways, or 5 different ways that we can use dwarves, one of the most common races, for unique campaign ideas. From the Lost Kingdom, to breaking contact, to having an ore that mysteriously is changing the world, to making dragons their pets. There's lots of things we can do with something so simple and so basic as a race that we're so familiar with. So how would you use these things? And as always, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, comment below, and share this video. And as always, we'll be excited to see you next time.